Selamat sore semua. Very nice to meet everyone. And I think today I'm going to share a bit more about working overseas in other countries. So I would actually share from a perspective from someone who is a student. And I wanted to keep it more like a dialogue rather than something where I show you slides. Because at the end of the day, I think that if you want slides, you can go to your professors. Like I rather have more of a discussion where each of you can, if you want to open your cameras and also you want to engage me in this conversation, right? So I think this is how I probably would actually come together to actually talk about this entire thing. So maybe before I start, I just want to introduce a bit more about myself. My name is Benjamin. I'm the co-founder and CEO dari Kinobi. We are a job tech platform in in uh, in Indonesia. We also help with, let's say, the career center to help them digitalize. And we also want to help digitalize the career journey for the student as well, for mahasiswa dan universitas, to really help them in the digitalisasi. So really, I think that's really how we provide for the students. Maybe as a show of hands, as we start this entire thing, wanted to see and ask. So first question here, how many of you use Kinobi? Right? If you use, then you get one. If you don't use, then you don't worry if you don't use. I just want to know who uses it, who doesn't use it, and so on. So you can take the next 10 seconds to actually do that. Nice. I think Risky, when a lot of people use Kinobi. Isan says that he hasn't used Kinobi yet. John Fernando says he uses Kinobi. Very nice. Okay. Okay, so I think a lot of people use Kinobi and some people don't use Kinobi. So I think everyone's quite familiar with Kinobi, right? So I think that's fine. I won't talk about Kinobi today, don't worry. Today I'm talking a lot about like how do you work overseas, right? So that's what I want to talk about today. And today I just want to use this thing called Mentimeter. I think some of you here might have actually used this before. So let me just create this from this. So the question is very simple. What are some um, so I'm just going to share the Mentimeter inside the chat. I think all of you can actually have it. It's a bit like Kahoot, a bit like Mentimeter. So let me just share in the chat. Okay, let me just type into the chat here. Okay, right. So the first thing I want you to do is to then go into the Mentimeter and then click on the link that I've shared on menti.com/ttf7 to do SJEHUD. Right. So click on that first. And then once you click on that, you can actually do this. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Benjamin. I guess the questions is incomplete. So the questions are just what are some?
Yes, correct. Oh, can you see the thing right now? So I think right now you should be seeing this. Yeah. So you should be seeing this question right now. What are some qualities you need if you want to work overseas? Right. Let me know if you don't see this.
Yes, cool. It's
okay.
already.
Oh, very nice. Okay, you see this, right? Okay. All right. That is really good. Okay. So I think let's take the time to actually cut this down. I think all of you can just write 3 words. Like it can be as broad as you want, right? Think of it as like maybe you can cover industries, you can cover your skill sets. Think of many different things, right? So let me just share my screen, and after that you can actually like see what other people are typing there. Yeah, so I think some people type e-commerce, some people type language skill, right? Don't worry, just type anything. I just want to know what everyone is thinking here today, so that we all have a broad experience, right? Understanding what are some qualities that all of us here today think that we need in order to go overseas. Very nice. Language, you see skills, you see work experience. Yep, very good. Yeah, I think you need work experience to work overseas. I think that's very important, having the experience to do it. Language skills is like definitely very important as what you see. The people some type some language, some type language skills. Collaboration, that's very important as well. And networking, right? Professional experience. These are all very interesting ones. Work experience. So I think we're starting to see a few things here, right? We're starting to see that like language comes out very big. We start to see that about experience, it comes out very big, right? Whether it's in professional, whether it's in work experience, it becomes very big. We also see that like on some other skill sets. So narrowing down the skill sets like time management, like collaboration, like networking. So all these things are very important. Yeah. So I think we'll just have another 1 minute, 30 seconds to actually wait for everyone to type this inside. Okay, so I think everyone has typed that inside. So as you can see, the top few things, right? So Mentimeter is good in a way that allows everyone to see what are the top things that everyone is thinking. The most important one, as you can see here, is language, right? Language itself is really important. And you see this in language here, it's the biggest, as well as language here. What do you mean by language? Language means that maybe speaking English is very important because how you actually converse in English, making sure that you can not just converse in English, but are able to type and also to learn about the business slangs is all very important, especially when you work outside of Indonesia. Right. So these are very important. Apart from that, the next thing that you see here that's very important and it's also the answers from everyone really is in experiences. Right. You can see professional experiences and work experience. All these things become super important into this entire thing itself. Right. The other thing that you also see that it becomes very important here as well is skill sets, right? So skill sets that you start to see here, like project management skills, time management, networking, collaboration, all these things are very important. And if you want to, actually, you can just take a screenshot of this because this is exactly what I'm going to talk about. Like actually, all of you already know the answers. You know what is needed to work overseas, right? Then the next question is, which I'm gonna share the screen and type it down as well, is this. Next question really is this. What are you doing right now in order to get there, right? So we'll just put this inside. Yeah. So let me present that. And do you see another screen right now? Viren, can I just like, yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, you can just wait for the thing for a while more.
Or I guess you can resharing your screen because like there's nothing pop up in here.
Okay. Yeah, so this is what you should be seeing right now, which is the
I
second
see.
question. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're seeing this right now.
Yes.
Okay.
It's important.
Yeah. So I think the second question, it follows out the first question, right? First question, we talked about it just now. We talked about how we actually have these are the skill sets you need, whether it's in language, whether it's in project management. I think the next question then is about like, since you already know this, right? Like, what are some of the things you are doing right now to ensure that you have the language skills, to ensure that you have the project management skills, to ensure that you have the collaboration skills, right? So what are these things that you're doing right now? It can be many things, right? I'll give you some ideas. It can be like maybe watching videos on LinkedIn Learning, watching videos on Coursera. In some of you here, we say reach out to mentors, creating portfolio. So these are very important. So just hear some of the words and the things that people are typing. Yeah. So very good. I think what you said about reaching out to mentors, that's very, very important to get there. Another one is on studying and taking courses. That's super important. Why is mentoring very important? Mentoring is very important actually. And I think in Indonesia, there are many, right? I think some of you here have heard of internet, right? Internet is a great platform to be in because you have mentors where they come from the different industries, whether it's like FMCG, whether it's in like e-commerce, whether it's in banking or even consulting. Everyone actually does all these different things, right? That actually allows you to come out there and to get the mentors that you need. Another one that's also very important is to take the courses, right? Because there's certain things which, let's say, and BNUS is a great university, right? That's why you're here. All of you here are really good students, right? And I think very hireable to all the different companies. Once you go to BNUS, I think your chances of getting a good job is very high, right? But apart from that, you also want to take courses that may be things that like, let's say, like product management or even like product design, things that technically in the school they do teach, but then things that you need to hone even better, right, by yourself. Or even third one, which is creating a portfolio. Here it is when you create portfolio. Portfolio itself is something that's super important because for the portfolio itself, you are making sure that the portfolios that you have would showcase that you are actually having and have worked before on these things, right? So those are areas that you can actually do as well. Um, Apart from that, you also can learn with mentors, and this is same to the mentors part. The other one is also to join boot camps. So joining boot camps is the same as courses, except that boot camps is that boot camps are longer and you can actually have hands-on experience, you can make friends there. So these are very, very good ideas that some of you have actually created. Get the exam. Okay. I think get the exam probably is quite similar to joining boot camp. So that's probably quite similar in answer. Okay, so I think this is very good, meaning that everyone here has an understanding of like firstly what skills you need, right? Then the second part, first part is about awareness, right? What do you need? Then the second thing is about what are you going to do to get there, right? So which is two things you've done. And then the last thing I want you to do is to really write down this thing. And if you can, right, you can just go to menti.com and use the code 6020520 on your phones if you want to actually participate in this. So the third question, and I just want to share the third question with everyone, is this. Third question really is, what are some of the industries that you actually want to go inside? So let me just bring it back. So what are the industries that you want to work for overseas? Right. So really that's the question that I want you to write. Actually everyone can type in three. Just type one word, okay? Right. So I'm just going to present this right now and let me know if you can see it. Right. So let me just share my screen again. Yeah, so what are the industries that you want to work for overseas? So just type one word, whether it's like banking, e-commerce, and so on. Right. So if you go to menti.com on your phones, type 60020520, you'll get on it. Okay, so I see consulting, technology, FMCG. Right. So these are very popular. I just want to see like from everyone, what is everyone to go? Right. So remember the first question. The first question is we have already talked about how what are the sort of like things you need, right? Language, etc. The second thing is how you are going to do to get there, right? Like so you talked about taking boot camps, taking all these things. And then the last one is that like you want to, after finding out your awareness and also like what you can do about it. The third one is about setting the goal, saying that this is my end goal, right? My first job, what do I want to do? So this allows everyone to have an understanding of this as well. So I'll take the next 30 seconds for you to type. Okay. Does anyone else want to tell me anything else? Yeah, seems like we need like maybe 2 or 3 bucks. Yeah, so yeah, maybe like yeah, I don't know if you want to participate in this so that we have more results. Okay, so I think this is what we actually find. Um, and I would say that like from this itself, we can have a few things, right? So you see that consulting is on the top of everyone's minds, right? Everyone wants to go to consulting because even technology, this is the biggest things, right? Because really is where firstly all of us know that it pays quite well, right? Better than a lot of the other industries. And also it's also a place where you get to, maybe travel a bit and so on. Right. And next one is e-commerce, like your Shopee, your Tokped, etc., or even FMCG like your Unilever and P&G. And then finally, I think financial technology. So these are areas that you probably want to get inside and make sure they actually do well. F&B is an interesting point. One of my first few times seeing F&B. I think that allows us to really have an understanding of perhaps what are some of these interesting things that should be here. Oh, I see like database. That's interesting. Like I think someone coming a database probably that's something that I think probably could be interesting for you. So today I just wanted to share with you, right? Um, some slides actually, because right now there's no point showing slides and you just like don't engage, right? Me, I think that the best is that you want to actually make sure that right here what we have and what we learn is something that we can actually learn from it. So I'm just going to share my screen on some slides. And perhaps I think that this is something that everyone can actually learn from as well. So let me just stop this share screen. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, it's visible now.
Okay, very nice. So I think that like if you want to put it that way, really what you're looking for, right? In essence, is what we call as a high achieving student, right? All of you here are high achieving students. You're gonna go overseas, you need to be a high achieving student, right? And we talked about the 3 things just now, right? We talked about how as a high achieving student, you need to have language skill sets. You need to have collaborative skill sets. You need to understand about cultures. Then we talk about how to get there, boot camps, talking to mentors, joining internet, etc. And the last thing we talked about is what are some industries you want to get inside, right? So these are all very important things. So what I'm trying to do is help you structure these things. It's very important because actually, honestly, it's not about the slides. Whatever slides I'm going to show you now is not important. what's more important is that if for yourself, what you're going to do tomorrow and do right now after this to make sure that you are the person that's going overseas to work. That is the important question. The slides do not change anything. All of us know that. Like, there is no spoon feeding of answers. There is no way to actually give you the answers. It's virtually impossible. So all I can do is to give you a nudge and to give you some ideas of what looks like in Indonesia and outside Indonesia, right? So what does high achieving student do, right? Really is what you see is that one leadership positions in the organization, two internships in professional capacity, two competitions, one experience in international facing, at least two hard skill sets are in demand for the roles they're applying for. Really, what we are seeing right now is that they are very highly aware of the career paths. They're able to secure positions in often more than one type of role and more than multiple companies. This really is to choose from roles offering 8 juta per month. Right. I think everyone of you here from Kinos, you definitely know this. This is not new to everyone. Like, you definitely understand what I'm talking about. Apart from being a strong generalist and specialist, really this is the top kind of like high achieving graduates roles, right? So we here mentioned data analyst, business development, e-commerce. Right, a lot of these are e-commerce roles, right? You see Grab, Gojek, Tokped, etc. Data analytics, you mentioned some of that within financial technology, for example, or technology or database, right? Someone mentioned database as a word just now. You also see software engineering and technology as well, right? So these are the ones that do pay quite well, above 8 juta per month, as you can see from the statistics here. Apart from that, you also see that there are some other jobs that pay much higher, right? You have your consulting and finance, where analyst in turn pays like 8 juta a month, but of course, definitely more if you're an analyst, or not just analyst intern. Deloitte, or even remote jobs with focus in Southeast Asia. So all these things, you see that these are the roles that you want to go for, right? So it's not just consulting and finance anymore. You can see that the roles here that is remote, that is overseas, pays a lot more. And that's what you need to go for, right? A software engineer remote worker pays 20 juta per month. Sales agent remote, 20 juta a month. Customer success, 20 juta a month, right? Analyst intern, Alpha JWC Ventures, 24 juta a month. Sales engineer, 18 juta a month. UI engineer, 30 juta a month. Sales intern here, remote, 12 juta a month. Data entry, remote, 22 juta a month. Very clearly, what this thing shows you is that you need to go overseas. So I really tied all these three things for you to show you the statistics, to show you what exactly you need to look out for. And actually, honestly, you already have the answers. Right? You already have the answers. You already know what it looks like. I'm just showing you a statistics of like what are some of the ideas you can go into. But you already know it. Just now through the Mentimeter, you already told me all the answers. I don't need to repeat them to you. Right? It's not like these are all new information to you. Everyone also knows that startups is the way to go, meaning either joining a big startup or joining a ASEAN startup group, right? You see that the startup roles are paying well, they're increasing. You see that whether it's in Singapore, Indonesia, Thailand, etc., it's all increasing 21% just within that 2 years, right? So that's really how it's going. What are other things that you want to look out for, right? A lot of people say that, oh, in BNUS, I need to be a software engineer to earn a lot of money. That is not true, right? Honestly, you don't have to just be a software engineer. You can be a generalist person, meaning you can be in marketing or sales. And you start to see this, right? 34% marketing and sales, 26% operations. Engineering is 23%. That's a lot. But product design is 9%. You take 100% minus 23%, how much is that? 77%, right? 77% of all these other roles are actually not within tech itself. What are some of these other roles that can give you an idea? Growth marketing. What is a growth marketer? A growth marketer is in charge of establishing customer relationships and cultivating loyalty in the long term. So you want to revolve around engagement and advocacy to increase customer lifetime values. That's really one growth marketing thing you do. Second one, product management. Product managers actually identify customer needs and to find out whether they sit between technology and the business, right? To find out what exactly does the customer need and to build a product around it. These are two roles that pay very well, that are not software engineering roles. And they are highly demanded within a startup and highly demanded as remote roles that are outside of Indonesia. Right. So that these are things that you can look out for. Right. So basically, actually, just now we talked about the skills, right? These are breaking it down into deeper skills that you probably need, right? So you talk about your advantage. Let's say whether you want to go data, Astra, Gojek, EDX, tools wise, SQL, R, Python, right? Industry knowledge, the critical thinking, data visualization. Software engineering, I think, is quite simple, straightforward. It's really about coding, right? Tech and business development, which is something that a lot of people, as shown in the statistics just now, it does pay well, right? Business development, customer success, product management, relationship manager, trust and safety, business development, finance and accounting, SEO management. What you really need, apart from tools, is just Microsoft. All of you probably here know how to use Microsoft Office, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, right? But more than that, it's an industry knowledge. How fast are you in doing financial analysis? How good are you in negotiating deals? Can you negotiate money, right? Are you able to project manage something? Are you able to do research very fast? These are things that will set you apart, that allows you to get into the jobs that you need. Apart from that, right, some of you here said, I want to go into consulting. What are some of the skills you need in consulting? You want to go BCG, Deloitte, not just industry knowledge, right? But you also need to know how to synthesize ideas. Are you able to synthesize ideas? Are you able to have writing skills? Are you able to have interpersonal skills? Let's say when I put you in front of a client, right? Are you able to persuade them? Are you able to have a problem solving in front of them? And when you have different projects at once, are you able to manage your time? These are skill sets that, breaking it down, these are the things that you probably need when you go into these jobs. And then finally, something which is not new to everyone, which everyone put it as the first answer, first thing, right? It's not a mental right? Which is what? English language skills. See, I'm not saying something that's new to everyone, right? Everyone knows the answer. All of you here are very smart. You know the answer. You want the remote jobs that pay the 20 juta and above, per month pay, is this, right? Ability to interview in English, communicating in English, having good project management skills, time management skills, showcasing that you're able to deliver at the job. So these are all the things that really that you need. That's it. That's the end of my slides. Right? My slides are very simple, and yeah, it's not about the slides, right? As you can see, the slides do not tell you anything. Actually, at the end of the day, you already have the answers yourself. So the question is, and you have really said it just now, actually, before I show you the slides. And what is it? You already know the answer. You know how to get there. So you mentioned mentoring, right? Joining internet. Some of you here said joining boot camps, joining courses. Some of you here said that I need to make sure that I learn the skills that I need, practice them, get internship experience. Yeah, these are the answers. So today I'm not here to give you any answers because actually you already have the answers. I'm here to actually just point you in the correct direction. So if you know what the correct direction is, that is actually the correct direction. So I'll just keep it short. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope to answer any questions you might have.
That's very beautiful. That's lovely. Thank you, Benjamin, for straightening up the points to us so that we can have a clear visions for our futures as well. Before we are jumping into the Q&A sessions, feel free for chatting in Indonesia. Jadi teman-teman boleh nggak apa-apa tulis aja di Indonesia, nanti aku bantu translatein. Atau mau open mic juga nggak masalah banget, biar bisa interacting langsung sama Benjamin. But before that, I'm so sorry that I'm not yet introducing myself to you. My name is Farin Tenara. You can just call me Fee. I'm from Business Career Ambassador, and so I will help you to guiding the sessions throughout from the beginning to the end.
Okay.
And while waiting for the questions coming up from the participants, I'm just wondering your perceptions about the competitions between the job seeker nowadays, because as you might notice as well, our competitions is not just from the Indonesian regions, but we have Asians globally and from everywhere. Well, how do you see the pattern or anything that you want to share with us with the competitions itself?
Yeah, thanks so much, Kap. I think for us and for everyone here, competition is actually very fierce everywhere. You're right. So how can you right now actually compete? Right, I think it's very simple. One is you seek international mentors. Actually, it's the answers that you gave me just now. I can just repeat them to you. Right. First one is not just seek mentors, right? You want to seek international mentors. And you can do it right now with LinkedIn or with any other portal, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. There's so many ways to actually reach these people, right? And second is to build the skill sets. There's so many courses online you can take, certificates you can take. They're all free. Actually, a lot of them are free, right? And then the third one that you can do, and also you mentioned, is boot camps, right? Boot camps, some of them are paid. It's not that expensive, I think. There's some with Revenue, etc. Probably things. These are things that you can actually look at, right? I think that these are some areas you can to actually compete. Um, then the other next question is, and it's more of an anxiety question, right? Like, well, what if I cannot compete against other people? I think that part is hard to control. All you can do is to control whatever's on your side. And then make sure that you have the sufficient leverage at the end of the day to make sure that people want to hire you versus another person. And that's it. But that's it. I think Indonesians are very hireable. If you're hardworking, if you have the skill sets that I mentioned just now, like project management, time management, able to communicate in English well, able to interview in English, then it's good. You will get a job.
I see. Totally it's understandable. Zooming into your first point about getting the mentor, I'm just wondering like how we could get the right mentor, because matching with mentors is like getting a date. We have to match with them into like many different layers of levels. So what's your suggestions to like reach out to the right mentor?
Yeah. So I think that for reaching out to the right mentor is really about sometimes finding the right person at the right time. Some stories. So, for example, one of my mentors, I met him in the toilet.
Oh,
Seriously, and then we just chatted, and then I realized actually this guy is quite a big guy, right? Like a quite important person. And all I did was to pass him a tissue paper in the toilet. And then I asked him what's his name. Then and after that, I added him on LinkedIn, and I realized it's the guy. And then he also had a good impression of me, right? That's it. So I think there are many ways you can do it. Sometimes the best way is not to force it. But of course, like I definitely understand. Sometimes you don't have chances of meeting these people. You want to create the chances, right? So you go for conferences, you go for different deals.
So to wrap up the points is don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah, don't be afraid to ask. Yeah.
That's a nice one. So we have one participant that raised hand.
Yeah.
Mama, please go ahead.
Oh, Mama. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Benjamin, for your sharing today. I want to ask, so I'm majoring in business management. I think I have already had the skill set required for for the business associate in BCG and Deloitte, since I have been dreaming for that position since I was in my first year of college. But I think there will always be someone better that I haven't succeed for that position. I also have tried like many courses, since I think business management is compared to other more technical majors, we are lacking in hard skills. But yeah, I still haven't succeeded for it. What do you think about that? Thank you, sir.
I think one thing you can do is there's a lot about thanks so much, Alma, for this question as well. One thing is that you want to make sure that you don't just have the skill sets, you want to talk about your skill sets, right? The best way to talk about your skill sets is to let other people talk about your skill sets. What do I mean by that? Let's say TikTok, for example, right? If you keep telling other people I'm very good on TikTok, right? But nobody's going to believe you. But if 10 people say that I'm good on TikTok, then people will believe you and say you're good on TikTok. It's the same thing for skills. If you tell other people that I'm very good at this skill, like people are like, oh, okay, sure, that's great. But if 10 people tell you and say to the other person that this person is very good at this skill set, then of course you're very good at it. So I think maybe that's the thing that you want to focus on. Getting recognition there's a few ways to do about it. One is that, that's why people join clubs, right? Because that's one way that people talk about each other and so on. Or even organisasi, or even any of these associations, etc. So there's one way you can go about it. Or even joining like specific skill sets clubs. I'm pretty sure in like there's English club, I believe, a computer club. Yeah, so these things are quite useful. Or like maybe a BEM, right? I don't know if there's a BEM in but yeah. So these are areas that you can actually go to. Let other people validate you as well. Let your seniors validate you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your answer, sir.
Cool. So yeah, like zooming into that point, like building the LinkedIn profile is as important as building the real life interactions. Is it right, or do you have any other perceptions?
Yeah, I think building LinkedIn profile is it's about like your personal brand.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of us here spend time building our Instagram and TikTok profiles, right? It's the same thing. Yeah, so yeah.
Okay, moving to the next questions from Anggita. So she's asking about the CV, the resume. Like, is it like
Yeah,
these?
bakal penting sekali CV atau foto. Okay, is that
Mhm,
question right? Okay.
that's
Yeah, so
right.
I think honestly for this, really, I look at it two ways. So if you're applying for a sales role, sometimes people want to see a photo because, like it or not, sales is a very much, it's very much
Directly
a very
people.
subjective kind of
Mhm.
role, right? If you want to put it away. Like, so people like to hire, like, this. I don't really like it. I think that there's a bit of discrimination there, but it's just what it is. The other way is that, like, how I like to look at it is that photo or no photo, what is very good about a minimalistic CV is that it forces you to make sure that your points are good. A lot of times people use Canva. There's nothing wrong using Canva, right? The only thing wrong using Canva is that if you apply for Facebook and Gojek or all these sort of things, your CV becomes blank, the Canva CV. But other than that, let's say if you really, really want to use Canva CV, right? The Canva CV, what is not so good about it is that it distracts the hirer and the recruiter from looking at the colors and not looking at for who you really are. And when you go to a role like consulting and all these high-paying roles, whether it's remote, like your 20 juta a month kind of roles, or 8 juta kind of month per month kind of roles, they are not looking at how nice your CV is. They are looking at how good your CV is being written. And what does that mean? It means that when I look at your CV, do we have the professional assassi? Do you have the organisasi? Do you have all the experience? All there, right? If you have there and you explain it very well, that you can actually do the job, then that's something that I will hire you. So that's how I will look at it. That's why you don't use the Kinobi CV, but it's just the Kinobi CV forces you to do that, and showcase your difference. Yeah.
Got it, got it. So basically, it's depends on the case for the photos and the CV. Moving on to the next questions from Ifatur. Yes, asking about the mass like layoff, and is it will affect fresh graduates for looking for jobs, especially in context of jobs in abroad.
Yeah, I think okay, so you want to look at layoffs happening, right? I think all of you here follow e-commerce, right? We've been watching too many IG stories from e-commerce. Yeah, yeah, I don't know how many of you follow e-commerce, but I follow it. It's quite funny.
I do follow it.
Yeah. So I think e-commerce does tend to give a viewpoint, right? That like from the startups angle, and like although startups pay well, they also hire and fire very fast. That's one thing you have to know. And right now, of course, it's you find that funding right now to startups is actually quite tough. What does it mean? It means that some startups, they have hired too many, and therefore because of that, they need to make sure that therefore they fire a lot of people right now. So you see a lot of mass layoffs from these startups. And I think that that's what firstly you need to understand. The second thing is that how does it affect you as a fresh grad? It does have ripple effects because when people fire, it leads to people thinking that no, the market is bad. Regardless of whether people know the market is bad, would actually think that the market is bad and therefore they would not hire as fast. So you're right. You're right that it is somewhat harder. But at the same time, how can you actually make sure that you're hired, right? So one is that you go back and do the things and stick to the things that you've been doing, right? Mentoring, finding mentors, talking to mentors, making sure you have the skill sets. Because if you have experience in something and done like maybe 2 to 3 internships in, let's say, marketing, would you be hired? The answer is yes, either by the previous company you interned with or a new company that wants your skill sets, right? And honestly, as a fresh grad, sometimes most of us cannot really negotiate on pay. So that's fine, right? So it's okay, like just take the job first. I think that's what I would get. Yeah, so don't worry. I think that as long as you have the skill sets, you should be doing it.
I'd like to follow up to that point. Like from your experience, from your point of view, which skill set is the most attractive from the recruiter side and for the company side?
I think the most attractive thing that you could possibly do right now is to make sure that you have high ownership. What I mean by high ownership, and this is something that it's very hard to write in the slides, so very hard to talk about because it means a lot of things, right? High ownership just means that if I tell you that this is something that needs to be done, what do you do to ensure that it's done? If it's something that you don't know how to do, you make sure you find a way to learn from someone to know how to do it, no matter how difficult the task is. Even if you need to work long hours to do it, you will do it. Right. And I always believe in hard work. I think that as young people, we need to work hard. Relax next time when you're older, right? Work hard right now, make sure that you have the skill sets right now, make sure that you do above and beyond your duty. You might not be getting like the pay that you're getting. You'll be getting like 8, 9, 10 juta for a lot of stress, a lot of things you're doing. But you just know that if you build the skill sets, if you do it well, it is for a greater in the future. So that's how I like to look at it.
Oh, that's lovely. So I'm taking notes right now, like high ownership.
Okay.
If talking about high ownerships, how do we actually showcase that into our resumes, into our CVs? Because it's like more not that tangible things to showcase in the forms of words.
To showcase that skill set, right? Yeah, I think the skill set is very powerful because people will know. Yeah, like people will gossip about you. I mean, Indonesia is a very gossipy, just in Jakarta alone, right? Yeah, whether you're from anak utara or anak Jaksel. I mean, just like you really know that people will talk about you if you're a good talent, right? Other companies will want to hire you. High ownership is very easily seen. It's seen in how you actually behave. In let's say your work quality and your organizational experiences and professional experiences. If you have high ownership, people would want to learn from you. Maybe people ask for your mentorship, right?
Okay.
You don't even need to join internet. People are like, oh, I want you to be my mentor. Yeah. So these are some of the ways and signals that you have high ownership.
I see. Okay, cool. So moving on to the next questions from Franz. He like to know more about how to brand ourselves as a college students. Maybe we have like not much exposure from the professional worlds or some constraints, like from your perspective, how do we brand ourselves as a college students?
Yeah. I think how you can brand yourself recently is that there's LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is very powerful. A lot of people say that if you talk too much on LinkedIn, then you're attention seeker, like you're just like one of those people who want to be like netizens, etc. But it's different, bragging and so on. But I think honestly is you need to brag it properly, yeah. So how do you brag properly? One way to brag properly is to not talk about yourself. You talk about other people.
Oh,
So when you meet someone else, you say that, like, you don't talk about yourself. You say like, oh, this person taught me this and this and this and this. And then you say like, this is very interesting and I want to share this with everyone. Yeah. So it's how you phrase your words. Right. So if you just type a post and say like, oh, I'm the best, I got into this internship, I'm the number one, I go to BCG, the experience program, or I go into Young Leaders Indonesia, or I go into McKinsey, things like that. Like, that's fine, that's okay. But then those kind of posts, I feel, have lesser impact on if you were to be more of a humble, right, sharing other people. Yeah. So that's one way you can brand yourself.
That's a very, very great tips. Like not talking about ourselves, but talking about others. So that's very cool. So I guess our times is like ticking right now. I'm taking like one questions or two questions. This is might be the last questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hands or type it in the chat box. Okay, so if there's no other questions, I'm giving back the time for you, Benjamin, if you have any closing remarks or anything that you want to highlight from the sessions to the participants.
Yeah.
That's yours.
Sure. Yeah. So terima kasih semua and to everyone to actually inviting me here, especially to Pak Daddy Budiwan from the Career Center, and I think Kak Yuli for inviting me as well. So also for all the questions, Elma, from friends, etc. Thanks for all the different questions you have. I think the most important thing to take note of, if you don't remember anything, is ownership. Ownership is the most important, and if you can showcase that, I think anyone would hire you. Right? It's a universal trait, right? Whether you're in Singapore, Philippines, USA, China, wherever you want to go, right? Make sure that you have that. So that's my last remark to everyone. And yeah, thank you for spending your Saturday with me. Yeah.
Thank you for spending your Saturday with us as well. So it's very, very lovely, like your point and your tips. Very well noted for us as fresh graduates, for us job seekers, to facing the real world, to applying our skills in the real industries. So for everyone want to know more about the recruiters or for anything related, please visit the Kinobi. Do you want to share more about the Kinobi site or your LinkedIn profile probably? Or
yeah,
anything?
sure. Yeah, I think you can, just add me on LinkedIn.
That's
send me on LinkedIn.
that's awesome.
If you want to, you can scan the QR code to join Kinobi. Or visit us.
That's cool. So for everyone that interested to join Kinobi, scanning the QR from the Benjamin virtual background. Okay, so I guess that's all from today's sessions. Thank you everyone for your participations, for your enthusiasms, your positivities. Thank you, Benjamin, for spending your Saturday afternoon with us. Hopefully we can meet you again. Hopefully our path cross again in the futures. It's very, very lovely sessions. And thank you for everyone. But before we close our sessions for our documentations, it will be better for us to take pictures. So for everyone that wanna join our photo sessions, can feel free to open your camera, and I'm giving back to Kak Yana to lead these photo sessions.
Oke, thank you, Feren. Teman-teman, mungkin ada yang mau open cam lagi? Masih kita tunggu. Oke, baik. Mungkin saya bantu hitung ya untuk foto sessionnya. 1, 2, smile. Oke, sekali lagi. 1, 2. Oke, terima kasih, Feren. Silakan.
Cool thing. So thank you, everyone. Again, thank you for joining our sessions. I think that's all from us. Hopefully we can meet you again in the next events. Goodbye, happy weekend, and have a nice rest. Have a good rest, everyone.
Happy
Bye-bye.
weekend
Thank you.
semuanya. Thank you, Benjamin.
Sama-sama.
Happy
Ya.
weekend.
Happy
Bye-bye.
weekend.
Sampai
Bye.
jumpa.
See you all, guys.
See you guys.
We're 1,000 miles from comfort. We have traveled land and sea. But as long as you are with me, there's no place I'd rather be. I would away forever, exalted in the sea. As long as I am with you, my heart continues to beat. With every step we take, Kyoto to the bay, strolling so casually. We're different and the same, gave you another name, switch up the batteries. If you gave me a chance, I would take it. It's a shot in the dark, but I'll make it. Knowing the little heart, you can't shame me. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. We set out on a mission to find our inner peace, make it everlasting, so nothing's incomplete. It's easy being with you, sacred simplicity. As long as we're together, there's no place I'd rather be. With every step we take, Kyoto to the bay, strolling so casually. We're different and the same, gave you another name, switch up the batteries. If you gave me a chance, I would take it. It's a shot in the dark, but I'll make it. Knowing the little heart, you can't shame me. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. You gave me a chance, I would take it. It's a shot in the dark, but I'll make it. Knowing the little heart, you can't shake me. When I am with you, there's no place away.